at some point we are going to have to do a whole show about how good this show sounds.
Everybody, welcome to Downballot. We do this show live most Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, but most Tuesdays it isn't 100 fucking degrees. So here we are at 9:30 p.m. Pacific, and it is much more possible to do a show. You can support this project at patreon.com/echoplex or at eplex.store. And if you don't like those ways, just go to echoplexmedia.com, click the support link at the top of the page, and you can find another way to support us. I'm Producer Dave, and you can find me on Grindr.
What's up, everybody? As always, this is Councilman. You can find me on the X type thing at THE. That's the _councilman. You can also find me trying to unlock the bathroom after the bad baby locked herself in it with the water in the tub going. Yeah, it's been that kind of night so far here at the residence, shall we say. But anyway, I'm really happy to be here. It was a fantastic week in local derp. We've got a lot of it on the docket today. I thought we'd mix it up a little bit and even get into down ballot stuff a little early this week, if that's cool with you. So it seemed like a lot of fun stuff. I forget there was even a story we might have covered before, but we can take a dip and see it's from your neck of the woods. But yeah, I'm anxious to get into things.
Very good. And hopefully everything just works. But anybody who doesn't know, I moved all of the studio equipment to a much larger room in this abode, this humble abode. And so I don't know. I don't know. Everything probably just works because I'm a fucking wizard like that. But who knows?
Oh, so we've moved out of our stepmom's basement, is what you're saying?
We're in no, not in the stepmom's basement. No.
Okay, we're in our stepfather's den or something.
Something like that.
Okay, cool.
So what do we got for leading off?
Well, if you're Gavin Newsom, you're just so cool. You get to sign bills with pop stars, and this particular bill has to do with influencing and young people who do that and whose parents try to abscond with the money that they and the resources they reap from being fantastic influencers. So we're going to learn more about the law that's meant to protect them.
Protecting child influencers, that is the goal of two bills just signed into law by Governor Newsom. The bills have been championed by singer and activist Demi Lovato. She's been vocal about the exploitation of child actors and performers. The governor met with the former child star to sign the bills. The two pieces of legislation make it mandatory for parents.
I like how they showed a kid smoking. Hold on, we should go back.
It was Charlie Chaplin, actually.
Oh, it's not a kid.
Make it mandatory for parents of child influencers to set aside a percentage of their earnings in trust accounts. The governor says the bills will ensure that young influencers who are on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube will have money for their futures.
There you go. Yeah, that was actually a classic Charlie Chaplin film, I think, The Tramp, I want to say, featuring the little kid who he gets to do like all his chores for him and cook for him and clean for him. In exchange for a place to stay. So yeah, child labor at its finest. But really interesting that that's the only clip they showed. It's like an ironic clip. Like it's got a child actor who probably was not getting, the money that they probably weren't getting access to the money that they earned from being a child actor, right? And that's being used as the example clip in this story about a modern law that is meant to protect not just actors but influencers as well. It's just very odd that that's the only clip that they showed. Other than
I liked it. We need more children smoking on the news.
It was Charlie Chaplin smoking, but no worse that he was in the same room with the kid, right? Like right there. It wasn't even like the camera tricks, right? Like they had a 2-shot of them and he's smoking the cigarette right there in the studio with the kid, which would never happen. Like that would never be allowed to happen these days. Even if there was like a scene where a guy was supposed to be smoking in a room with a kid, the kid would never be in the same room with the lit cigarette. Guaranteed. Their parents would not allow it. But that's the modern world. That's why laws like this exist, I guess.
Ooh, and among other things that have changed, apparently the order of events on Down Ballot is changing. We're going to, instead of doing winners and losers right after leading off, we're going to go with a Down Ballot watch. Yeah,
I thought we might just dip right in because there's just so much fun stuff happening right now, and sometimes we get to the end of the show and maybe some people are taking a nap or they've kind of like they're starting to look around Twitch for other opportunities, right? So maybe if we drop some of the juiciest shit, sometimes at the end maybe they miss it. So I want to make sure they catch all the good local derby. So for this week we'll try out pushing Down Ballot watch up a bit, and anytime firefighters are ripping into Sam Liccardo, I mean that really should go near the top of the docket no matter how you do it or how you slice it. So we're gonna see more about what the firefighters are saying about Saratoga Sam in his congressional race against Evan Lowe.
A political fire of sorts in San Jose. 2 events involving firefighters and their thoughts on former San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo. It's not all positive. Both could have an impact on his current political
none of it is positive.
For Congress. NBC Bay Area's Robert Honda has more from San Jose.
His track record is clear. He has weakened public safety. Today, dozens of San Jose firefighters gathered outside City Hall to protest claims made
There's a really good taqueria behind them.
in his run for Congress against Assemblyman Evan Lowe. The president of the Firefighters Union Local 230, Jerry May, led a scathing attack on Liccardo, who almost simultaneously was attending a new fire station groundbreaking at another location. The firefighters say they're upset Liccardo has claimed credit for building up public safety during his time as San Jose's mayor. In fact, they say it's just the opposite.
Firefighters are being asked to do more with less, and fewer people want to join this department because of the damage that has been done. This is the reality Sam Liccardo has left us with. We're down 500 cops. He laid off 49 firefighters. We're struggling to do our job, and these are the repercussions from his actions and his policy.
The attitude toward Liccardo was much more upbeat at the fire station groundbreaking.
My predecessor and friend and mentor, former Mayor Sam Liccardo, was really the driving force behind Measure T.
Liccardo shrugged off the firefighter union's criticism.
I know there's a lot of revisionism of history. There's a lot of
on your part, bro.
Before I became mayor, and certainly, yes, we lost more than 500 police officers before I became mayor. When I became mayor, we worked very hard to bring people together at the table, to work through differences and to rebuild our public safety departments.
In a statement to NBC Bay Area, Liccardo's opponent, Evan Lowe, said 16th District voters should heed the first responders' warning as they consider who to vote for in the November election. The firefighter group says it definitely plans more events focusing on Liccardo, the candidate, but how it all might affect public opinion is not as certain. In San Jose, Robert Honda, NBC Bay Area News.
Well, wait. So the groundbreaking event, right? The firefighters union probably wasn't allowed to give any speeches or anything at the groundbreaking for the new fire station, right?
More likely not. Like typically, I would bet the president, the leadership was probably invited, but they would not necessarily be the speakers, right? In those situations, official situations, it's the chief, the fire chief, or the one of the fire captains, their deputy chief. So it would not typically be the union president or a representative of the union speaking, even though they might be invited. So yeah, definitely to a tale of two events, right? And a tale of two sport coats too with him and the fire union president. But I know I tore into Mayor Ed 209 a couple of weeks ago, and I just feel the need to cut into Sam's revisionist history here, and it's really it just boggles my mind how the irony is just so thick, and how he can say these things without even a sense of of irony, or that he knows exactly what he's talking about, and that he is completely full of shit. Revisionist history is saying that you had nothing to do with this because it preceded your time as mayor when you were on the council for 8 years prior to being mayor, and you, Sam Liccardo, led, along with Mayor Chuck Reed, the effort to put on the ballot and then pass Measure B. This was in 2010, right in the middle of Sam's term on the council, right during his reelect, in fact. And Measure B was found to be eventually unlawful. It was a method that was used to break union contracts, to reform, quote unquote, reform, to change the pension system for city employees, for employees, including employees who had already signed into the system and who had been paying into the system and had an expectation of what they would have when they did retire. This basically allowed the voters to come in and dictate those workers' contract, right? To basically renegotiate their contract without renegotiating it. This is entirely illegal and unconstitutional. And sure enough, when the union sued over the measure, after 5 years that the city spent defending it in court, for those years, Mayor Sam Liccardo was on the council, and then he was the mayor. Over 5 years it took to settle finally, and they did. And then they sat down and agreed. Yeah, like Sam said, they sat down and agreed to a solution that is in place now, which they could have arrived at many, many years prior had Sam Liccardo and Chuck Reed, two of the only attorneys on the city council, not put forward an illegal ballot measure in the first place that not only was proved invalid and unconstitutional, but also through its impact, emotional and financial and otherwise, decimated public safety numbers in our city, employee numbers overall, staffing numbers. They made San Jose a very unsavory and unappetizing place to work, and an unattractive place to work, and in fact a hostile employer in a way. So San Jose became not only a place that can't afford to pay people with their work, but also a place people just don't want to come to work because they don't want to be treated like second-class citizens and have the voters be allowed to dictate their contract. My rant is over for now, but it's really funny for me to hear Sam Liccardo say that other people are engaging in revisionist history when they're telling the truth and he is full of absolute shit.
Ooh, do you think we're going to see any debates between him and Evan Lowe coming up anytime soon here?
Was that set up for me? I happen to have inside information that NBC Bay Area and KQED and Telemundo are co-hosting a debate tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. You can tune in locally on those stations. You can also tune in online streaming on NBCBayArea.com. So 7 p.m. Pacific, Liccardo versus Lowe. Not for all the marbles. It's just a debate. But it should be pretty spicy because they've been getting pretty spicy with each other. So do tune in to watch two Democrats do like dirty things. It's gonna be fun.
And of course, we'll probably have some highlights from that on the next week's show.
Yeah, I imagine so. Speaking of which, we'll have some highlights from some recent San Francisco mayoral debates in a second after we look at one other mayoral race that seems to be heating up as well.
Yeah, what's that?
In local news. Well, this is up in your neck of the woods, or your original stomping grounds, I believe, in the East Bay. In the city of Fremont, there's a mayor's race that is, I think we've gotten into it a little bit before, but it's been getting really spicy, and all sorts of accusations are flying back and forth about malfeasance and other things and Yelp reviews, and I don't even know what, but we're going to have a look at it from NBC Bay Area right here.
The race for mayor in an East Bay city is getting contentious, with accusations flying between two of the candidates in Fremont.
They used to serve alongside each other on the Fremont City Council, but now one is accusing the other of being a frequent no-show at the meetings, while the other candidate is pointing at a half a dozen state violations and lawsuits involving his opponent's businesses.
Senior investigative reporter Begat Shaban looks into the allegations to find out what is really going on.
I really feel like these are distractions.
City Council member Raj Salwan is having to defend him.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah, they're sending the most annoying reporter in the Bay Area to talk to this guy.
Yes, and he's dressed like he's auditioning for a extra role in Reservoir Dogs, I think.
God. I mean, why doesn't he ever go bother Aaron Peskin? That's what I'm asking.
Aaron Peskin's too busy looking for a camera.
He'd rather be talking about his campaign to be the next mayor of Fremont.
I want to make sure that future families have the same opportunities that I had.
Fremont is my home.
Salwan, the child of Indian immigrants, was raised in Fremont, where he served as a city council member for much of the past decade. But it's his work outside City Hall that is raising questions for some in the Bay Area. Salwan owns hundreds of apartment units across the East Bay. But the successful real estate mogul is being accused of neglecting some of his properties and taking advantage of low-income renters, like Maria Vasquez. Her family, along with families in two other units in this development, are now suing Raj Salwan. According to their lawsuit, they endured water leaks, bed bugs, and a cockroach infestation inside their kitchen cabinets. Maria says her complaints were often ignored, so she was forced to store her pots and pans outside on her back patio for years at her apartment owned by Raj Salwan.
If he's going to be a candidate, he should first fix what he has here, then look into future things.
Just like, fix my apartment before you try to be the mayor, you asshole.
Before you fix the city.
Earlier this year, but says the fixes only came after she took legal action. We found a total of at least 7 lawsuits since 2016 filed against Raj Salwan, in which his current and former tenants alleged unsafe conditions, including mold, broken heaters, and infestations involving insects and rodents.
Ew.
Most of the lawsuits appear to have been settled, but the details of those agreements aren't public.
We're talking about different tenants living in different buildings, but all accusing you of very similar problems in their homes.
Each one, we addressed it as best we could. And based on our data analysis, it's less than 0.05% of the various tenants we've had.
Some are essentially accusing you of being a slumlord.
That's false. And anybody that has an issue, the property management immediately addresses it.
Salwan says the person overseeing that property management is his father, Dharam Salwan, who provided us this one work order.
Oh, blaming it on dad.
Legible. But he says it shows the Vasquez family refused certain pest control services last May. Maria says that isn't true. But Salwan's rental properties aren't the only family business caught in controversy. He and his father are also veterinarians and part owners of the Tri-City Veterinary Hospital in Fremont, where Salwan says...
Oh, yeah, that's the one my parents do not go to.
For a reason? For cause?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't... I haven't fucking had a detailed discussion with them about it, but that's the one they're like, oh, man, I hope nothing real bad happens to the cats in the middle of the night.
Is it a kill hospital?
No, they just said that they just hope nothing real bad happens to their cats in the middle of the night. This is the one that's open.
Oh, no.
6 days a week. 2 years ago, inspectors with the state's Veterinary Medical Board cited and fined the hospital for 6 violations, including unsanitary conditions and expired drugs. The violations, they say, went uncorrected for nearly 4 years.
The issue you reference is a citation that was given to my father, who is the manager.
Yeah, he's throwing his dad under the bus, dude.
The managing licensee is responsible for the upkeep of the premises.
It sounds like you're saying your father then is largely to blame for these issues. Have you ever voiced any of these concerns with him?
I'm not here to blame anybody.
As one of
No, you just did.
Do you not?
This show just sucks because of my co-host, but I'm not really here to blame anybody.
Wait, what are you saying?
For any of that?
No, I think it's always a shared responsibility, absolutely. But again, my role is to serve the customers and provide exceptional patient care.
But on the customer review website Yelp, where the practice has a 2-star rating, hundreds of pet owners say they never receive that level of care. And their negative comments aren't the only issue.
Reviews on Yelp can't be deleted, but Salwan's family-run animal hospital is accused of trying to do just that by changing its name and address on Yelp from the Tri-City Veterinary Hospital here to seemingly made-up businesses. That way the bad comments would be attached to those fake animal clinics, giving Salwan's pet hospital a clean slate.
So who made those changes? Yelp told us attempts to hide the business's reputation and mislead consumers came directly from someone associated with the...
Oh, it was his dad.
We didn't change anything.
That wasn't your vet practice that changed the name on Yelp?
No.
Because according to Yelp, the only
was it your
people
dad?
that had access to changing it would be your actual vet hospital.
Yeah, we never changed that. I don't know. I don't really understand internet or exactly how this works.
I don't understand. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, no. You want to be the mayor of Fremont and you don't understand the internet?
I don't understand.
That's a problem right there.
I don't understand the internet. Is just the fucking craziest thing for, what's that guy, maybe 60? For like a 60-year-old man who grew up in the Bay Area to be saying that he doesn't like, and that he's like a business person.
I mean, there's some things about the internet I don't understand, Producer Dave. Like, how is it that I can get anything I want to eat, right? But I can't get any smell that I want.
Who else could that have been?
I don't want to speculate. We did not make.
Just say it was your dad.
Yeah, I'm not here to blame anyone, Producer Dave.
All the businesses and the comments onto one page. Salwan says the range of criticisms lodged against him were first drummed up online by his main opponent in the mayor's race, Vinny Bacon.
Now we're getting...
We have this.
Is this going to be landlord on landlord?
I forget what Vinny's back. I don't think Vinny's a landlord, no.
But Salwan has gripes of his own to share about his political rival.
He's very good in the politics, but terrible in governance.
Salwan accuses Bacon of being a frequent no-show on 2 of the roughly half a dozen boards Bacon served on during his 8 years as a Fremont councilman. For one of those boards, records show Bacon missed 82% of meetings.
Every committee member has an alternate, and if you can't make the meeting, you ask your alternate to go for you.
But even when Bacon wasn't there, records we obtained show his alternate was still absent most of the time.
The inference your opponent is trying to make is that this somehow shows a lack of commitment that would be carried with you if you were elected mayor.
No, I think I will commit a lot of my time to being the mayor. I will just say, as a city council member, I missed 2 meetings for the entire 8 years that I was there.
Bacon also says if elected mayor, he'd immediately adjust his tech job hours and likely leave the role altogether within a year of taking office. But Salwan still questions his reliability. The state agency that investigates campaign ethics violations cited and fined Bacon for failing to provide financial reports on time. On 4 separate occasions in 2020, his campaign fundraising statements were filed late, anywhere from 2 to 35 days after the deadline.
Why the delay in filing those reports?
I really have no good excuse. I admit it is sloppy, and I should have turned them in on time.
But state investigators found no evidence he tried to conceal financial information and determined harm to the public was minimal. Ultimately, Fremont voters will get the final say.
I really want to do what's best for the city and implement good plans and for the city of Fremont.
I want to make sure that I'm honest and straightforward, and I will take Fremont to new heights and make it even better.
In politics, it's often hard to hear over all the noise, but there is one thing even louder: the ticking of the clock, with the election now less than 6 weeks away. With the investigative unit, I'm Bigat Shaban.
Ooh, Fremont not sending their best.
Right? No, definitely not. Although, I mean, Vinny's not the worst, but Raj definitely has, as you can tell, some fleas and some skeletons in the closet. I continue to just dislike Big Ad's approach to journalism, even when you can tell someone's obviously a bit shady, right, and has something going on that they're not being fully honest about. Going at them with a question like, some people call you a slumlord. And it's not really even a question. It's just sort of like a statement, right? It's not even really giving them an opportunity to respond in a way. It's sort of just saying, yeah, people say you're a slumlord. So that is, right?
Right. It's like me interviewing like a chemtrail person and just like making statements about their character, which is fine for me to do. But
Right. And I've listened to your interviews. I mean, you offer them every opportunity to explain themselves in their own words, and to present their case. Right. You don't mock them. You don't, unless they get to the point of being mockable. But you don't mock them, and you give them the benefit of at least the verbal benefit of the doubt. Right. You let them have their piece.
I don't edit, but that's because I'm lazy.
And Bigada just inserts, and a lot of these reporters, he's not alone, a lot of these reporters just insert themselves into the story, and they don't really need to be there, right? The story should never be about the journalist, honestly. It should really be about the story, the subject matter, and then the journalist should speak through the power of their journalism and the approach that they take to journalism, right? And the question and the answers they're able to get out of the person, not the questions they ask. So these cutaways to the reporter, and whether it's Big Ad or someone else, just really bug me. You're making it about yourself and not about the story you're trying to tell, when in theory, your passion is the story, right? You're a journalist and this is what you do, and you want to, win awards for your storytelling. So it just seems to me to be counterproductive in a way.
At some point, he could have at least said, your dad's not running for mayor, you are.
Right. And at the end of the day, like, he's still your employee. He may be your dad, right? But it speaks to your leadership ability, right? If your entity, your business is truly, breaking, skirting, circumnavigating the law, right, and screwing people over, I don't care who it is that's responsible within the business. It could be your intern, you could be your dad, but you don't, throwing people under the bus, throwing your staff under the bus is not a very good sign of strong leadership.
Fortunately, as a person who grew up here and a returning resident to Fremont's one of those places. You know how some places have a strong mayor? Fremont fucking could probably be fine with no mayor.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that they had a directly elected mayor. I'd forgotten that, because most cities of that size, they just rotate the mayor through the city council, right? And everyone gets a chance, like a participation trophy.
Yeah, that's how Campbell does it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone gets a year. But some cities like Fremont and others are moving to this kind of setup. Sunnyvale just moved to it, right, where they have a directly elected mayor, and then they just reduce the city council by one person so that they keep an odd number of people voting. Because, as you said, in these cities, even if it is a separate mayor and you're voting separately for the mayor, they still, even in San Jose, they still only have one vote on the city council, and that's it. They have no veto power. They have no power of the pen or really of crafting anything that they can't get past the full council. So there are very few executive powers. London Breed has a completely different setup. Shangtao has a different setup in Oakland, but here in San Jose and most cities in Santa Clara County, it's not a weak mayor, but a strong city manager.
Right. Well, you mentioned London Breed. It looks like she attended an election forum where they were going to talk about issues for the Latino community in San Francisco. Let's see what NBC Bay Area has to say about that.
Candidates are on the campaign trail this weekend, speaking to voters in the city's Mission District. The forum focused on the issues that impact the Latino community as voters decide who they will cast their ballots for in November. Here's NBC Bay Area's Christy Smith.
In the Mission District this morning, the stage was set as the San Francisco Latino
I like their backdrop
and Equity Coalition
reminds me of doing acid.
Mayoral Candidate Forum.
It's the first time that we're convening to have a real conversations with the candidates and really try to get them to understand the priorities and needs of the Latino community.
Of the 14 people running for mayor, 9 participated today. The candidates were broken up into 2 groups. The first included Mayor London Breed, Daniel Lurie, Supervisor Asha Safai, and Board of Supervisors President Aaron Peskin, answering questions on a range of topics, including housing, community safety, nonprofits, and workforce concerns.
Wages, benefits, and job protections for Latinx workers in these fields, and how will you support the economic growth of these communities?
I think unionizing is the path. I worked as the political director for the Janitors Union for almost a decade. Every single time we have the opportunity to work with whatever industry it is, whether it's in-home healthcare, whether it's people that are providing care for our children, whether it's construction, every opportunity we have, we need to work to help those industries unionize. We also have to protect industries like Free City College. Free City College is
I am really proud of the work that we've done over the years, particularly with our workforce director, Joshua Arce, where we develop sustainable programs like City Drive, City EMT, and other opportunities that help provide people a real career pathway.
I agree with a couple of the things that have just been brought up around Free City College. We need to protect that. We need to make sure baby Prop C is spent to take care of our families and our young people. I also want to talk about Muni and making sure that it is clean, it is safe, it's reliable.
I have worked to create...
So Muni is safe and reliable, but those fucking trains will never be clean.
Office of Labor Standards
2 out of 3
with my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors to deal with wage theft, and I have given that department the tools and the funding that it needs to make sure that there is equitable pay in San Francisco.
Former Mayor Mark Farrell's campaign spokesperson said he was attending his daughter's family weekend event at her college and is hosting office hours in the Mission to meet with voters in the coming weeks. But earlier this week, Farrell shared his vision at a forum addressing issues impacting the API community.
So my vision for San Francisco, my vision for our API community is a city that is safe, a city with clean sidewalks, where the mayor is honestly addressing the homeless issue and the fentanyl issue.
Messages for San Francisco voters to consider when they head to the polls on November 5th. In San Francisco, Christy Smith, NBC Bay Area News.
So I don't like any of these people.
Yeah, it's again London Breed against the white dudes. It's pretty much what we have going on here. And London Breed, it's interesting. She's being very selective about which forum she attends. We got a little taste at the API forum. We're going to get that again here in a second in a more in a fuller story. But yeah, I'm not really keen on any of them. And even Aaron Peskin, who probably shares the values of this show the closest of any of the candidates, is really not all that desirable from my perspective. He is an ambulance chaser of an elected official, and I just can't get down with that too much. It's just not. It's like the good values and good message, but wrong messenger. So I'm if I was a San Franciscan, I would have no idea how to rank these fools.
I mean, yeah, if I lived there, I would just have to hold my nose and vote for Aaron Peskin.
Yeah, single shot, right? Forget the rank choice. Just go one because it's either that or bootlicking Breed, or it's tech bro billionaire Lurie, or retread white dude Mark Farrell.
That dude looks like a cop. I would never vote for him.
Or Asha, who's a good supervisor, but would just be a union shill, honestly. Not that the unions could use a shill in City Hall, but as much as I'm a labor guy, like I don't like shills in general. So yeah, I think that there's really not a great option for you out there if you're looking for one.
So we have another candidates forum. This is for the API community, and I think we'll just let the local news coverage of this roll and talk more shit about everybody that's running when we get back.
There you go.
The top 5 San Francisco mayoral candidates answered questions tonight about issues that impact the AAPI community. And NBC Bay Area's Gia
love that dress.
was one of the moderators for tonight's event.
Isn't that nice?
Now introduce
Audrey has good taste.
5 candidates for mayor of San Francisco and 20 minutes each in this town hall put on by Asian Pacific Islander Council.
Okay, I'm hella mad that they all had boba. I'm just going to be straight up that I'm just like they're all pandering fucks and they can all go fuck themselves.
Well, this is the thing. It would appear that it was a prop and that they were all given some sort of milk tea, and it looks as though Aaron Peskin's the only one who's actually drinking his. The others were just sort of sitting there, and it looks like he's actually getting down with. I mean, as a fan of boba, I would love this, but I think they were given. I can't imagine that they all just came with their own boba to pander. Although it's a great idea. I should have thought of that myself. I think they were given boba by the host.
By yours truly, if elected as mayor, and MSNBC anchor Richard Louie.
yes or no.
Candidates came in individually and were asked the same set of questions around a variety of issues, including affordable housing for low-income seniors, food insecurity, public safety, and more. The final statement, how they would achieve the vision of a...
What if he had never tried it? He's like, fuck, this is really good. Where's the nearest boba shop?
This is delicious.
API community.
So my vision for San Francisco, my vision for our API community is a city that is safe.
He didn't even put a straw in his.
With clean sidewalks.
Oh, he's not interested.
Aaron Peskin wins the boba debate.
I think he says cheese foam.
And the fentanyl issue.
I am the only candidate in this race.
Look, he's still working on it. Look at it. It's lower than it was before.
Allows those seniors to...
I am the only candidate in this race who has touched their boba tea.
Right? Because I'm thirsty. And it's delicious.
And allows low-income families to continue to be able to live in San Francisco.
We continue to see crime decline. We're making investments in food security, and we're going to build the housing that we need to ensure that the diverse communities of San Francisco have a safe, affordable place to call home.
You shouldn't have to be rich to live in this city, and we've become increasingly more a tale of two cities. I'm fighting for working and middle-class families. That's what I've done my entire career over the last 24 years.
Making sure that we support...
Oh, he's drinking his boba too.
Instead of looking
good point.
at it as a source of revenue and taxing and feeing all of our small businesses.
But he uses DoorDash to just get one delivered, and then he doesn't even tip very well.
For sure. He's got this baby boba too, so you can suck up a bunch of them at once.
Are going to be serving you.
By the way, San Francisco uses ranked choice voting, so we may not know on election night who the next mayor will be. In San Francisco, Gia Vang, NBC Bay Area News.
So, boba tea aside, they didn't even really, the coverage of this, they may as well have not covered it. They may as well have just said that the forum happened, because you didn't get any information about what happened at the forum from the local news coverage of it.
No, just, a couple sound bites from each of the candidates. And the sound bite clips were even worse than the previous show or story because they were just cutting these folks off indiscriminately. It didn't seem like they were the editors gave any thought at all to where they were cutting the clips. It was just like in the middle of a sentence and boom. So kind of unfair to the candidates, unfair to the community because you don't really feel their full story. And not so much pandering. Actually, if anyone's pandering, it's the people that order them the boba, I think, and the milk teas. And then Asha is coming with the just basically iced coffee, I guess. Can't fault that simple.
The only thing of substance that I heard and I'm sure they said other things during this forum. The only thing I heard was people losing their places, elderly people having a hard time, our aging community having a hard time, and that is an issue actually in the Asian community because San Francisco historically has been a place with a lot of API immigrants, and there are a lot of folks who are getting older. That was the only thing anybody said, or that they chose to clip out that seemed like an issue that people would care about.
Yeah, it's a huge issue within the API community and the Latino community because you end up with a lot of multi-generational households already, and there is such a cultural spirit around the family and looking after your elders. So it's a very critical issue in that community as well. But again, we shall see. The one thing I'll note is that API voters vote on a more regular clip than Latinx voters. So would not be surprising if there was more pandering going on to the API community than to the Latinx community. But it did appear as though the hosts were the ones pandering, giving them all boba. So I want to go to more of those forums as a candidate next time I run.
We're going to move on to winners and losers, where there are generally no winners unless you're rooting for somebody. This next story, uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not really keen on the headline because it's implying something that I think it's not. So
right, because so the headline here, I'll show it to everybody actually, is that bike party takes over Safeway parking lot in San Jose and harassed residents. Folks, I have news for you. Bike party happens at night.
Correct. On a Friday too. So yeah, a really bad choice of headline by someone who obviously doesn't understand that there is a San Jose bike party organization that does monthly rides, which producer Dave participates in on the regular, dropping the beats. But this is definitely not bike party, nor is it a party really at all. It's just a bunch of doofuses doing kid stuff, and we're going to learn more about it from guess who?
Caught off guard when a group of bike riders started harassing people right in the parking lot of the store in Willow Glen. New at 10, KTVU South Bay reporter.
Yeah.
Is live tonight with video of the swarming teenagers here. LaMonica.
Looking fabulous.
Mike, we spoke to a woman who says she saw the teens run into the Safeway and take items out. She says she saw them throw things at people, and she was sitting in this nail salon when it all happened, so she took out her cell phone and shot video of what she could see.
Fucked up her nails.
At first, I just thought it was one of the bike parties, but it very quickly
she did not know.
Was clear that it
even she knew. She was like, "This is not bike party."
Right. I've heard of bike party.
The Safeway store.
Erin Ronan says around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, she witnessed a large group of teenagers and some adults in the Safeway parking lot on Bird Avenue with motorized bikes. She says some of the teens ran into the Safeway grocery store to grab items as employees tried to stop them.
They also were jumping on top of cars. I witnessed them throw rocks and food at a woman who was all by herself, and they broke her windshield.
San Jose police say they received reports of a large bike party taunting residents, and several people were hit by rocks and other objects, but none were injured. Ronan says the group also used smoke bombs in the parking lot. The woman Ronan saw being attacked did not want to be identified, but she sent these photos of her bruised arm and car damages she says were caused by the group.
I couldn't leave. I felt hopeless because I wanted to go help the woman that was all by herself in the car, but clearly I could not have done anything with that large of a crowd. I felt terrible for the Safeway employees, that many of them were young.
Police say some of the juveniles were still at the scene when they arrived, but no arrests were made, and they canvassed the area in search of others who may have been involved. Bebo's Pizza is also in the shopping plaza, and the owner says he and his staff were inside working when it all happened, but he heard the commotion.
So I'd like to think there was probably some bad apples in that group. I don't know if they're part of the group or tagged along or what, but that isn't the norm when they visit. And they've been about a half dozen times that I can recall. So I was very surprised to see that.
Yeah, he's getting confused.
Yeah, with actual bike party, right?
Extremely disappointed to see that.
Ooh.
We have seen police patrolling this parking lot today, and I spoke with the manager of Safeway who declined to comment about the incident. Police are still investigating, but the people I spoke to say they've heard a lot of chatter about the police response, and they say they're very satisfied with the way they came, how they showed up, when they showed up, and they did get people to safety as soon as they could. Mike?
All right, LaMonica Peters live tonight in the South Bay. LaMonica, thank you for that.
I'm like, this is not LaMonica's fault. KTVU needs to issue a correction, like, immediately.
Yeah, no, very much so. As far as that implication, that's just not doing anyone any good.
I'm just telling you of some shit. First of all, this was not San Jose Bike Party. San Jose Bike Party happens at night. Sometimes in the middle of the summer when wheels roll at 7:30, it's dusk. this was clearly in the middle of the day. This is not San Jose Bike Party. If people would have been behaving this way at San Jose Bike Party, they would have no longer been behaving this way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There have been, and it's not common. Probably more common at the beginning, but there have been incidents where people were acting the fool, and they immediately get swarmed by the fucking regular attendees and the organizers of San Jose Bike Party and told to get the fuck out of here.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know what kind of unfortunately they don't do retractions generally for headlines, which is kind of silly, but yeah, that's definitely one of those misleading headlines. It doesn't really tell. It tells you not just doesn't tell you the whole story. It actually kind of tells you a incorrect story just through the headline. And that's, again, kids, that's why words are important. Even one word can skew things.
Just real quick, if there's like a bike party organization in your area, you should attend their events. They're generally, I've been to East Bay Bike Party, San Francisco Bike Party, San Jose Bike Party, and I even went to one in San Diego about 8 years ago. And these are all well-organized events. There's no fights. Everything's fairly orderly. Like, it's people stop at red lights and stop signs. These are safe events and good places to take your kids all the way up to your grandma if she rides a bike. I just want everybody to know this. Bike party is so fucking cool.
Imagine that. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
So we're where are we at? Cupertino. Oh God.
Yeah. So we're going to head into the winners and losers portions of our shows, primarily because there's really no winners. Even if it was the person you're rooting for, they're probably a loser. But Cupertino parents are a little squishy about transgender stuff still. So we're going to hear about what went down there from guess who?
Oh, it's going to be LaMonica again. And I guess this is going to be one of the kids are all right stories.
We shall see. Yeah, I mean, I think so, but the parents might be questionable still.
New at 10, tensions flared at a Cupertino school district meeting tonight over one teacher's decision to talk about gender to young students. People on both sides of the issue spoke before the school board.
And our South Bay reporter, LaMonica Peters, live now in Cupertino with more on tonight's meeting. LaMonica.
Heather and Greg, the teacher involved in this controversy, was not at tonight's meeting, but people who support them and people who oppose their teaching methods had some pretty strong opinions. Teachers, parents, and community members packed the district's board meeting on Thursday and discussed the teaching methods of one transgender teacher at Dilworth Elementary School. The Cupertino Education Association says it wants to protect the identity of the teacher to prevent further harassment.
My colleague and friend was harassed and mentioned by name in a previous board meeting. As a result of that, he is still receiving hateful messages.
I was lucky enough to have 2 gay teachers in elementary school. In addition to being amazing educators, I think their experience of having been a young person and finding the courage to be true to themselves shaped how they showed up for us in the classroom in such a positive way.
During the meeting, multiple people claimed the teacher told 4-year-old transitional kindergarten students that it was okay for boys to wear a dress and had inappropriate materials in the classroom. The union says the teacher has not veered away from approved curriculum and is simply being inclusive. Still, some parents voiced their opposition.
Last month, numerous Dilworth parents expressed concerns about sensitive gender identity topics being addressed in the TK classroom. Gender identity is not a part of the TK curriculum.
As parents,
maybe it should be.
More clarity on how these sensitive topics are being handled in a way that is more suitable to the age of TK kids.
About 35 people spoke at the meeting in person and called in. Sophie Scar-Newman, a CUSD parent and the sister of the trans teacher at the center of the controversy.
Oh, you may as well have just doxed the fucking teacher. Good job.
Sibling uses in the classroom.
It's just a drawing of children with different pronouns next to them. That's what the drawing is. People are making so much more out of this than it truly is.
Both teachers and parents also asked the district to create a clearer policy concerning gender issues in the classroom. The district says that because this issue was not on tonight's agenda, they will not make any decisions about policy. Heather?
All right, LaMonica Peters live for us tonight in Cupertino. Thank you.
So I'm thinking that the overwhelming majority of people that spoke there were probably like being supportive.
I mean, one would hope, right? And they're just focusing on the negative because that's what the story was about, and that's how it was pitched to them as a negative. Yeah, one would hope that most people were standing up for the teacher and for their rights, and not doxing them, and not putting them on any sort of playing with people who are trying to take education down some wrong path, right? Like, are you kidding me? Like, there are so many things we could criticize about curriculum and instruction in California and anywhere else, but I mean, to criticize this when you're so obviously, blatantly just prejudiced and biased and silly, it's like, come on, we have better things we could argue about, honestly, than this. And I'm, it's not surprising that parents are able to, hold things up, step in, put their foot into the foot in the brakes, whatever you want to call it, right? Stick their shoes into the gears on anything school district related, because at the end of the day, parents rule when it comes to school districts. That's who they respond to. Schools respond to parents, not to the kids, not to the taxpayers. They respond to parents. So if you're a parent in a school district and you're coming to your school district and to lobby them, you have more power than just about anyone, because the districts are predisposed to making sure you're happy. And so good on you, parents. I'm going to get to experience what that's like. But I truly hope that I don't take advantage of it and become one of these Karens who just is so overly protective, right? And wants to have their nose in every little thing that we do in our schools, and have no earthly idea how to do that job or how to be a teacher, haven't been trained. I have no idea how to do that job. I've never been trained professionally to be a teacher or in my education. So I'm not going to go into a classroom and tell a teacher how to do their job, or go to a school district and tell them how to do their jobs, because I don't know how to do their jobs.
You might be the kind of a good engaged parent that goes in and asks questions instead. Be like, hey, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, can I serve on this committee? I want to find out more about the budget. I'll serve on the budget committee.
Or it seems like people are pretty mad at you. How can I help?
Mm-hmm. My typical MO, is to do that, right? Is to help improve the brand and improve the situation, improve the visibility, improve the visuals. So if just throwing it out there, come November 6th, the councilman's going to need a job because campaigns don't pay the bills once the campaigns are over. So if you do know of anyone who needs a little bit of communications and marketing, just send them my way, okay?
Ooh, you could go work for Costco. The next story, this is around the way from where I used to live. Westgate West is that place where like Winchester and Hamilton kind of merge together and then go into Saratoga Avenue on the west side. It's still technically in San Jose, but I would have guessed that it was in Campbell, right? And
it's borderline. It's borderline Cupertino, Campbell, and San Jose. It's on this like tri-city kind of area.
So they're they're doing what actually the mall across the freeway from me did. The mall, it was dead. And they put a Costco in there, and now the mall is. It seems like there's people at the mall again.
Imagine that, right? You put a place that people want to go. Ironic, the Safeway that LaMonica was talking about in the quote unquote bike, we'll call it the bike mob story earlier. That Safeway actually was one of those things where it came into a depressed shopping center where there was not a lot of foot traffic, and once it came. It brought foot traffic, and it brought people to other businesses in like the donut shop, the Chinese food restaurant, Toast, the beauty salon, right? The liquor store. It brought business to all these people, and it lifted up all the boats.
So we're gonna see why people are so mad about the Costco.
It's probably the samples.
New at 10 tonight, plans for a new Costco store in West San Jose are being met with some pushback from
residents. Guess who's got the story?
Near the proposed site. Concerns of heavy traffic and safety were presented to the Planning Commission at tonight's meeting.
Wait, that's a mall? What, do they think there didn't used to be traffic at the fucking mall when people used to go to the mall? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
It's a different kind of traffic, producer Dave. These are Costco customers.
Our South Bay reporter LaMonica Peters live now near San Jose City Hall with more from
Look at this third outfit on Down Ballot this week. Good.
Heather, back
To be fair, she probably doesn't wear the same clothes every day, friend.
Look at that top. That blouse is fabulous.
Valley started voicing their opposition to the Costco coming to West San Jose, and tonight Costco responded to some of their concerns.
We welcome growth, but it needs to be reasonable and it needs to support and fit the community, and Costco doesn't either.
And it needs to be on the other side of town.
T-shirts. About 24 people from the group attended San Jose's Planning Commission meeting Wednesday night. An environmental impact report was presented before Costco's planning partners explained its plans and changes made to address concerns.
On parking, we're reducing the square footage at the site by over 23,000 square feet. And we're adding 281 additional parking spaces, which exceeds the city's requirement by almost 450 spaces.
The proposed store will be located at Prospect Road and Saratoga Avenue in the Westgate West Shopping Center, replacing closed stores. Costco's representatives say they plan to reduce traffic and noise on nearby Graves Avenue, and it will create jobs and tax revenue. One resident showed his support for Costco.
I'm a resident of Cameo and Graves, practically at the entrance to this Costco. I feel like Lewis and Clark here. I am actually in support of this project, and I'm hoping that you would actually vote for this proposal.
Still Save West Valley says increased traffic near a residential area, Prospect High School students crossing the street in heavy traffic, and the size of the store are all reasons the commission should reject Costco's plan.
I am worried for the well-being of my fellow classmates that they will be severely injured or even killed by this unnecessary and preventable addition of a Costco warehouse in an already crowded neighborhood of schools and homes.
Costco is going to kill people, Producer Dave.
Now tonight, the Planning Commission voted to send the environmental impact report to City Council for review, and Costco cannot move forward with this project without the city's approval. Heather?
All right, we'll have to wait and see what city officials then do. All right,
that mall used to be cracking.
It was at some point, right? Not anymore. Things have changed, and some models just aren't working anymore. So but that's the thing to me. It's like there's not a whole lot going on at the shopping center right now, and you're going to bring new business and new revenue and new tax dollars to the community. And I don't know, man, a place to go get a chicken bake or a piece of pizza for nothing when you're feeling peckish. Like, I don't understand
This is very stupid, because also, like, if you looked at like some of the images they showed of what used to be a mall, I wonder if the same people that are there are complaining about blight from like the closed down shops where there used to be a fucking Sears Roebuck or a Mervyn's or whatever. Exactly.
Like you've got a lot with some vacant storefronts and boarded up windows. But you would prefer that apparently to, actual commerce and people coming in, God forbid, driving in through your neighborhood to get to Costco. God forbid. I don't understand what the argument there would be, right? Like you're all for it's more of a NIMBY argument, really. It's like, once again, it's like we're all for economic development, but just do it over there, not in my backyard. Do it over there.
It's so weird too, and I think this might be just kind of poor city planning, because I've always thought that that was like a kind of a bad place to try to get to, like just because of it would be confusing to somebody like trying to leave, like to get back to the freeway. Like there's a school right across the street from this mall that used to be really, like, I understand that this was like poor planning in the beginning, but like unless you're going to turn that mall into like affordable housing for Gen Xers and make sure there's still a Hot Topic there, you got to do something.
I definitely need to hit the Hot Topic, man. I'm losing.
I would want to live right between the Orange Julius and the Hot Topic.
I was going to say my pants have tears in them. I need to put new pants. I'm going to Hot Topic, but then I realized all the pants at Hot Topic come with tears in them.
Yeah, but they're fashionable.
Apparently, that's what the kids are doing these days. Speaking of the kids, they're drinking bad water in Oakland, and when you get your shit together on Down Ballot, we're going to learn about it. I just like that segue. Oh, now the story's disappeared.
Oakland's future. Parents, students, and teachers from the Oakland Unified School District rallied outside Oakland City Hall Monday afternoon, all of them demanding the district and the city do more to get the lead out of drinking water at OUSD schools.
The fact that that is an open question and the fact that people have to doubt whether or not the water that they're drinking at their school sites is safe for them to consume is just unacceptable.
Parent Nate Landry was one of those leading the rally.
I don't think that the fact of lead contamination in and of itself was the hugest shock. I do think that the scope of the problem across so many different school sites was certainly shocking.
As a part of their rally, Landry and his Get the Lead Out of OUSD coalition have created a list of 5 demands from district leaders. Some of those include getting the lead levels down to 0, as well as annual testing at all OUSD campuses. But fixing the problem won't be cheap. The district has already shelled out for some repairs, along with water stations and refillable bottles for students. The entire project could cost anywhere from $16 to $53 million. One the district says it doesn't have. They discussed the issue at a Monday night meeting of the Oakland Education Partnership Committee.
We can't do this alone as a district, and we do need help from the city.
Faced with its own budgetary issues, the city says it will work with the district as well as other governmental entities to try and find a solution.
We will not accept the district and the city pointing fingers at one another, talking across each other, bouncing the ball back and forth in terms of who's ultimately responsible for this.
Because for Landry and others at the rally, they want answers and they want them now.
This has got to be a time when district leadership, city leadership, county, state, federal, whoever needs to be pulled in here should be pulled in to ensure that this does not happen again.
The committee is expected to meet again in October to discuss next steps in addressing the problem. In Oakland, Tim Johns, ABC 7 News.
Well, if only there was a presidential candidate who was from the town.
You'd think, right? They might be able to figure this out. Yeah, I love the one kid in the front there with the soccer mullet. My God, that was an epic mullet. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, lead. So real quick, lead in drinking water at schools is always a big talking point amongst parents and others. It's true, there is no acceptable level of lead in your drinking water. When you're dealing with pipes and systems that are incredibly old and outdated and not maintained properly, like most public school districts, frankly, you just kind of take what you can get. And the district, while they absolutely have a responsibility, they just are constantly chasing the beast, right? And constantly having the tail wag them instead of the other way around. So it's not surprising that any district falls into this kind of non-compliance and problematic situation. It's really just a question of how they extricate themselves from the situation. Are they going to try to obfuscate and play the blame game, or are they going to just own it and move forward? And it looks like they're owning it, but it's always good to have the good folks here at Downballot keeping an eye on them so you don't have to, listener.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy win for state and federal leaders who have much deeper pockets.
Right. But anyway, we will obviously keep our tabs on this as we do all things, especially when it has to do with our kids in the future, because as we find on Winners and Losers quite often, right, and Get Your Shit Together, it's almost always the kids that are getting fucked.
Yep.
So we're going to move on to And Another Thing, where we've reached the end of our docket for this week. So I'm very excited, but I'm really excited that we have a twofer this week on And Another Thing. I think we've been waiting for a car or a vehicle versus structure story for quite a while, and we were rewarded with two vehicle. In fact, if you're talking about headlines, producer Dave, I think they had the exact same headline, just different location and type of car, and different establishment and different city. So car crashes in a music store in Los Gatos, and then I forget the follow-up story, but we'll see that in just a second. But let's learn about this music store first, and hopefully no one was hurt.
Well, this was the sight to see. How did it happen? That's one of the key questions after a Tesla drove through a music store in Los Angeles.
Oh, it just decided to.
It's a store
it made up its own mind.
Like, fuck them violins.
Music students. Here's NBC Barry's Marianne Favreau.
You can see here the extensive damage after a Tesla drove through Rockin' Kids this morning. About 200 kids take music lessons here, and if this had happened after school, there could have been a lot of students inside. When the driver of this red Tesla plowed through Rockin' Kids today, employees at the barbershop next door say the sound was deafening. Boom, 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 boom. The car uprooted a large mailbox before crashing through the glass and bricks. Police say a woman was driving the car and was the only one inside. Jennifer Wynn heard her yelling right after the crash.
The lady, so she said, "Oh my God, oh my God." We come outside.
Investigators are looking into whether the driver mistakenly hit the gas instead of the brake or if she had a medical issue. She declined to talk to us.
They always do that shit with the fucking stuffed animal.
Firefighters had to rebuild 2 pillars.
Unfortunately, there was some significant structural damage, so we attached one of our special operations companies, USAR, to provide some structural stabilization and shoring.
Tiffany Petrosi owns Rockin' Kids and arrived to see what had happened to her dream business.
I'm a little in shock. I don't know how a car could have gotten through the pillar and the bricks.
It was an inside job.
It's called inertia. Those cars are heavy.
Yes.
It's sad to see that the rubble.
Petrosi says she opened the store in 2011 and has hundreds of music students who learn to play everything from piano to guitar. Kids who might have been sitting on this couch had the car crashed through in the afternoon instead of this morning.
I have a small business. I need to keep going. I'm thanking God that nobody was in there.
Petrosi is not sure what's next, but despite the discord that this crash has brought to her business, she says she'll continue to share her passion for music with kids. The owner had to notify all her music students about canceled lessons today, and she's hoping that she'll be able to find a temporary location until this mess can get cleaned up. In Los Gatos, Marianne Favreau, NBC Bay Area News.
Lady driving the car got out and was like, "Why was your music store in the way?"
I was just trying to get home, and you put this music store right in my path. From music store in Los Gatos to from music store in Los Gatos to laundromat in East San Jose, we have another vehicle versus structure. Although it looks like that's not a Tesla, but it could be.
It was a Toyota Camry.
Oh, very good.
You can tell by the fact that it didn't end up all the way inside of the fucking building.
Oh, true. Yeah, the building looks like it has. We didn't actually rate the last one. It looked as though
the Tesla won.
Yeah, Tesla definitely won that day for sure. But it looks as though we have the reverse here, but we'll find out more.
The car came out of nowhere, crashing right into an East San Jose laundromat this morning with customers inside. This happened on Tully Road. Unbelievable for those people inside, but no one was hurt. NBC Bay's Emma Goss joins us now from that badly damaged laundromat, which is a mess.
The manager tells me that customers usually sit on a bench right where the car broke through the glass, but today they went to check their laundry at precisely the right time. Tully Wash and Dry is still open, and unfortunately, so is the laundromat's front wall after this Toyota sedan smashed through the glass. Claudia Robledo, the manager, wasted no time sweeping up the mess. She said the business can afford the repairs, but only if she's able to stay open.
We have to work. We have to keep open for the customers come later on after 3, after 4.
The crash happened mid-morning Friday. This frequent customer saw it all unfold. I thought it was an explosion and I didn't know where to run, he says. Adding, he saw a woman behind the wheel exit with a bloody face. The driver went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, according to San Jose police. They're still investigating how and why it happened. Only 2 washing machines were damaged by the crash.
Oh, good.
Said customers narrowly avoided getting hit.
It was slow. Yeah, not many people was here. That happened, and thank you God nobody got injured.
In San Jose, Emma Goss, NBC Bay Area News.
So those like business washing machines are actually no joke, and it's not surprising that the car, like as soon as it hit one, just completely stopped.
Yeah, I could see like a typical like car being just torn in half by one of those things. They're industrial strength. They're ready to go. So good on the structure, not just the building itself, but it looks like the washing and drying machines for standing up to vehicle. So you win this one. So we have a draw, I think, this week on vehicle versus structure. But we will soon have more stories, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have a broken tie, and someone will be the victor. But you have to stay tuned to every episode of Down Ballot to find out, because you never know when we're going to have a vehicle versus structure story.
Fuck yeah. Well, we made good time tonight. Everybody, we're going to be doing Soups After Dark, Shasta Board of Supervisors meeting, late night tonight.
Are they meeting right now?
I'm sorry?
Are they meeting right now? Is it live?
No.
Oh,
but we got the meeting. So.
Oh, lovely. That'll be fun.
So, you want to read the show out while I rearrange my lights and start trying to figure out how to do all this shit in this particular location?
Yeah, as long as you're not melting, right? It's all good.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great. Tons of ventilation in here.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Producer Dave, for shifting things up this week so we can all become more comfortable and that you do not melt on live on Twitch. That would be awful, although it might get some more viewers. Who knows? But awful for you for sure. Thank you, listener, for joining us on the podcast version of the show, which you can download from any podcatcher you choose. Thank you, viewer, for watching us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Echoplex Media, for all of your Echoplex watching needs. Make sure that you get your vaccinations, that you wear masks when appropriate. Do not wear pants. It's completely optional, so only do so if you are told to do so. We're going to leave you with some audible smoke. We hope that you have a wonderful week. And tune in for public comment later. We'll see you next week on Down Ballot, hopefully at the usual time of 7:30 Pacific on Tuesday, pending the weather. Have a great night. Peace out.
Time to get the party started. Pick up my phone just to check and see who's calling. Dress up real nice for the ladies at the bar, and I'm driving in my car just to get to where they are. Here at the local scene is where I plant my feet. It's where I smoke my cigarette and I hold my drink. I look at all my friends, they're all blazing green. Here at the front of the stage, waiting for MTV. Where are those guys who's standing next to me with a pipe in his hand, ready to play for me? About 5 minutes later, we're all singing Queen. Now get the fuck up on stage and rock the scene, yeah. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. I turn and head back to the bar for a refill, man, because you know where we are. We're headed out to the car to smoke another one and another one. Now just when the magic starts kicking in, I hear relapse playing, you know it's time to head in. Alright everybody, now it's time to grab a new drink, spark it if you got it, and then pass it to me, yeah. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want to do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. Last up on the bill for the show tonight. Down and dirty in 5, so we're headed outside. Just spark up another joint now. Who's got my lighter? Stoner E, of course. Shouldn't you be inside? I'm all up in this bitch, being who I gotta be. I'm fucked up like the U.S. economy. The truth is that I don't think logically. Stoner E take you on a psychedelic odyssey. Now inside motherfuckers is rocking me, and outside shit we smoke a lot of broccoli. Rocky the roller, y'all that sexy girl be jocking me. Ain't too drunk to fuck, but I'll probably do it sloppily. We do what we want to do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy the band. We do what we want to do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. All they say, they hear like jamming and gotta say thank you, Bob, we do. Yes, I gotta say thank you, Bob, we do.